Hey, welcome in again, guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. It's another Monday. It's another time for a wonderful movie discussion.
What's going
My
on,
name
everybody?
is.
How we doing?
How you doing, Austin? I don't care about how they're doing. No, I'm just. We care about how you guys are doing. How you guys doing? Let
We're
us
doing all
let us
right.
know.
All
Live,
right. With that,
post
live and
comments,
direct.
post video, uh, during video, all of it.
All right. Well, my name is Austin,
My name is Josiah.
and
And
we
we
are
are
the super
super cinema brothers.
cinema
Oh,
cinema bro.
cinnamon.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right, talking
you.
about sending them in. Gonna send them into a rental family. Purchase a friend or family
Oh
member.
boy.
That's
Oh
what we're
boy.
talking about today. For this movie.
All right.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
はい、ありがとうございます。アステンと申します。それは、
Hmm.
それは、are you above me or below me?
Below. Hmm.
それは、ジョサヤでございます。
ここは女性
ありがとうご
よ
ざいます。どうぞよろしくお願い
です。
いたし
どうぞよろし
ます。
くお願いします。どう
Alright。スーパーセナマのポッドキャストをようこそ。Alright。So,
どういたしまして。
on the
どう
docket this
ぞ
evening,
よろしく。
we have Searchlight Pictures Rental Family, starring Brendan Fraser.
Also known as what? Rentoru Ryoko. Maybe.
The Rentaru Family. That's how
That
that's it's all in katakana. For
that makes
those of
sense. That
you
makes
who
sense.
don't
Yeah.
know Japanese language and the Japanese writing system, katakana is an alphabet that's used for non-Japanese words, English loan words, French, German loan words, so on and so forth. And so in Japanese, this movie is called Rentaru Family. They like using English. They replace their own words, their native words for things.
Yes.
For the
Oh, you're gonna have to repeat that one. You went robotic
hmm?
for half a second. You're gonna have to repeat that one. You went robotic for
Okay.
half a second. Just
So I was
rewind
simply
like 15
saying,
seconds.
all right. I was saying that Japan loves to use English loan words over and above their own words for the same thing. So I mean, there is a formal Japanese rentaru no kazoku or whatever. There's a way that I'm sure there's a Japanese word, Japanese word for rental. I'm
Hmm.
sure there is. There has to be. But they just prefer to say the English term, rentaru family. And so that's just Japanese. They just like using English loan words whenever they can. And so, yeah,
Hmm.
that's a little bit, that's your little eye in
Maybe
the sky on Japanese culture.
Kazoku, yeah, that sounds like the right one.
Kazoku is
Ryoshin, I
the
think, is
Japanese word
more
for family.
specifically like parents or something. I said Ryoko, but that's definitely wrong. But yeah,
Ryoshin is parents.
yeah.
Ryoshin. And so, I believe so. Oh man, don't quote me on that. Hang on. Oh, see now I gotta. Oh God, here we go. There might be one of my Japanese friends, and they're like, Austin.
Welcome to the Cinema Brothers. We have now become a language channel. Join us as we
Oh, I
struggle
was right.
through
Ryoshin.
Nihongo.
The
Yeah.
Japanese word for Ryoshin.
Hmm.
Mama to papa. Okay. All right.
Hmm.
So I was right.
Otosan to
I was
okasan.
right. I had nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're fine.
So would you like to read the synopsis that I provided, or would you like me to read it?
I'll read it this time.
Okay.
And by this time I mean in about 3 seconds longer. Okay, here we go. Rental family. Let me give it the space on my screen it deserves. Rental family follows. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Rental family follows Philip Vanderplug, an American actor struggling to find substantial work in Japan after achieving minor fame from a toothpaste commercial. Desperate for income and stuck in a series of small roles, Philip reluctantly accepts a job with Rental Family, a unique company owned by Shinji that provides actors to portray stand in family members and friends for clients in need. Despite finding the premise absurd, Philip becomes the company's token white guy and takes on various assignments, including playing a fiance at a traditional wedding, acting as an estranged father to help a young half Japanese girl named Mia get into a private school, and posing as a journalist interviewing a retired actor with dementia named Kikuo Hasegawa. The film explores themes of authenticity, loneliness, and the human need for connection in modern society. As Philip becomes increasingly invested in his roles, the story examines the blurry line between performance and genuine emotion, questioning what makes a relationship real and whether paid companionship can evolve into something meaningful. The narrative delves into how people cope with isolation and societal pressures by constructing elaborate facades while also considering the ethical complexities of a service that profits from filling emotional voids. Though Philip's journey, through Philip's journey, the film asks whether true human connection can exist within transactional relationships and what responsibilities we have to those we encounter, even when our time together has an expiration date.
Hey, can you read that first sentence again?
Indeed.
Just the first sentence.
Rental Family follows Philip Vanderplug, an American actor struggling to find substantial work in Japan after achieving.
Wow. Well, with a last name like that, are you surprised? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there's no need for applause. There's no need.
Stop.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
too
you.
much. That's too much. Too much. Finishing the sentence, though, fame from a toothpaste commercial.
Toothpaste commercial. I got your toothpaste commercial. All right. So Josiah.
Yeah, he was pigeonholed. I mean, Vanderplug. Man, no one would have believed that man was American with a name like that. My goodness gracious.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, that's a very unique last name. That's all I'm saying. the katakana on that. The katakana on that alone for a Japanese person would require years of Invisalign. Like, I'm just saying, like it would be a challenge. It's a challenge for us to pronounce that. Shout out to all of our
plugs. Hello,
yeah. Shout out to all of our fans
there.
with the last name of. Shout out to all of our fans with the last name of Vanderplug. All 37 of you, we appreciate you. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, you're asking a lot of Japanese people to write that on every job offer and application. That's a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so
I can only imagine how many ways it's mispronounced, but we're not going to go down that path, or we'll be here all night.
No. This is a movie podcast, not a morphology and etymology podcast.
Don't tempt me, Austin. You sound mighty good.
As it came out of my mouth, have we missed our calling? Yeah. All right. So right now we are in the spoiler-free segment of this podcast live stream review. So right now we're just going to give you our 30,000 feet above ground kind of just general assessment of the movie overall without any spoilers. Josiah, what did you think about Rental Family?
I was into it. I was digging it. I do enjoy emotional manipulation movies by a good amount. most of the time. No, no, no. So, to be serious, yeah, it's a well crafted film. I and my interest in Japan helped carry a good portion of my interest in this film. Brendan Fraser, we love him. We love him. We've been loving him since The Mummy in this household. Maybe, yeah, I think that was the first one I saw. No, actually, technically, George of the Jungle, but I mean, as you all know, my Mummy's lifted him up to the stratosphere, and a few things since then have been fun too. It's good seeing him coming back from some pretty dramatic things in Hollywood. And anyways, sorry. Back to this movie. Beyond just the actor, yes, do like the actor. I thought all the performances in there were pretty solid, and my mind was going during the whole film with some of the ethical, maybe not necessarily moral, but ethical implications of what was happening, and I was kind of fluctuating on where I landed on the situation a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it was an entertaining film overall. I think people will, if they enjoy a film that has very little action in it. It's not trying to be an action film. If you, I think you, if you're curious about aspects of Japanese society a little bit, and have heard even of the concept of this company that Shinji has set up in here.
Yeah, this
I think
industry, yeah.
this industry, yeah, I think I could see, yeah, I could see you enjoying the film, at least being intrigued by it. So yeah, it was not a boring film. It was, I think, far from that. That said, there are some things that are a little bit questionable, and then I'm sure we'll have a nice discussion about some of the some of the messages that this movie either intentionally or accidentally winds up putting forward. Yeah, yeah, gotta say, had a good time watching this film. I don't think that says anything specific to whether I agree or disagree with the business necessarily, or how this is laid out. I wound up being angry at a few characters a few times. Wound up being intrigued. Got emotionally invested in a couple of the relationships. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
All right.
It's definitely not an American made film, and I never am perfect at putting my finger on like the differences in culture, but it's another one of those films where it's like it doesn't exactly feel like it would have come from an American director, but then again, I might be wrong. Maybe Hikari is an American, but I don't think she is. Anyways, yeah. So at a blush, had a good time watching this film. Didn't feel like I wasted my time with it. Happy to see it in theaters. That said, I don't know that there's anything that screams about from it that it absolutely has to be seen in theaters outside of wanting to see, some beautiful shots of Japan and some nice cinematography on a big screen. Actually, one of the shots near the end of the movie, it's like gorgeous. One of the many reasons why people like going to Japan. It's maybe a cliche one, but I won't spoil it at this moment. We'll talk about it later. What about you, man? What did you think of this film?
This movie is visually gorgeous. Uh, it it photographs Japan in general and Tokyo in particular very well. If you like good cinematography, if you really enjoyed the Osaka segment of John Wick 4, if you are enjoying this trend in movies where they take lots of really wide angle shots, lots of character close-ups with the wide angle shot, you're gonna have a lot to take out of this movie. I'm kind of a sucker for those things. So, uh, also, I actually think this is one of the best screenplays of the year for a live action film. Uh,
Well,
I want to get into some of the things that I liked.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, this is as somebody who lived in Japan in a
Mm,
lifestyle not all too dissimilar from Phillips from Brendan Fraser's character.
mm,
I Did I see myself in his life? No, not particularly, but I definitely understand his life.
mm,
Firsthand, I understand his life.
mm,
I know
mm.
exactly what he's going through and what he's experiencing in Japan. Uh, I know that grind. I know that life. I know those sights. I know those sounds quite well.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, there's a lot in this movie that I personally resonated with, just circumstantially, in terms of just the everyday hustle and bustle.
Mhm.
I was never an actor in Tokyo. I never went down that route. I probably could have.
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll see. You know, Day is still young, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Going back to Brendan Fraser, you said you were rocking with him since George of the Jungle. Was that
Yeah,
right?
I don't think I saw his what was it his first film with Matt
So wait, wait, wait,
Damon or
wait, wait.
something
Don't.
like that.
Oh, oh, yes. Okay. So let me say this much for myself. You've been rocking with him since George of the Jungle. I've been rocking with Brendan Fraser since Encino Man, where he was a
Oh yeah,
Neanderthal man
Caveman.
that
Yeah.
was they thawed out from the frozen cold and put him in high school with Pauly Shore.
Hmm.
I was rocking with dudes since way back, way back. You could throw the way back machine. And yes, the way that Hollywood and the foreign press corps, and one of the men that did him real, real dirty, real, real gross, nasty stuff, and he ended up getting blackballed, and his whole life fell apart during that time.
Hmm.
Um, Purely a coincidence, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Hmm.
When when he just asked for the guy that abused him, that essayed him, to just acknowledge it, and it's like he asked for an apology, like a gentleman, and because Hollywood is so sick and depraved, they ruined this man's life for like 15 years. So when I saw him on The Whale and he got his Oscar for that, I was so
Yeah.
happy for him.
So happy for him.
Um,
Hmm.
I watched the whole video just about him in general and what happened to him, why he disappeared for so
Mm,
long.
mm,
And it just made me like him as a person. Nobody has anything bad to say about him. Nobody that works with him has
yeah.
anything but good things to say about him. He's incredibly well liked as a person.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, He kind of bears some similarities to Johnny Depp in that regard. Johnny Depp is well liked by
Mhm.
cast and crew and the films that he's been in, and so he's not another Hollywood jerk a hole.
Mhm, mhm.
But yeah, he's just a genuinely nice guy. And then like through things, like he was mistreated grossly, and he was
Yeah,
his
terrible.
personal space was grossly violated by
Mm,
another man. It's super gross and sick. And to
mhm.
see him playing like he was in Killers of the Flower Moon, the Scorsese film.
He
He
was.
played kind of like
Yeah.
a villainous character, but a
Mhm.
fantastic role for him.
Indeed, yeah.
Uh, Completely outside, like
Not what he
completely
typically does. Yeah.
contrary to what you might call his typecasting.
Mhm.
And so just seeing him get really solid roles, more or less back to back. And this is another one for him.
It
Um,
is. It is,
I
yeah.
believed him immediately. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, man, shout out to Brendan Fraser. Salute to you, bro.
Bro, you're killing it.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, man, you seem like a cool dude. I've never met you. Maybe one day I'll get to. I mean, I've seen him giving his like awards and stuff like that, his speeches, and he just seems like an eminently like. Again, I don't know him, but he seems like a humble, super relatable guy.
He does, and if you're
And
acting that and you're really just a terrible person, you're doing a great job coming across
right,
as someone that's jovial and not jovial, but like charismatic,
just kind.
honest,
I
likable. Yeah, he
so
feels like
so
a real person. He
yeah.
doesn't
So
feel
cards
like
on the
he's trying to
table.
be super big Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah,
So cards on the table. Full disclosure, like I'm predisposed to root for him
yeah.
and where his career is going.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, just at a glance, at a
Yeah,
brush, as a
yeah.
blush, as you said, this movie is visually beautiful, visually gorgeous, very, very colorful. And I think there's a real good screenplay. And I'll get it. I don't want to say this too soon. I want to talk about this in the things that I liked. So I won't spoil it now. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, this movie is actually pretty funny. Actually pretty funny. And so we'll get into that in a very kind of like idiosyncratically Japanese way. And so yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. As somebody who is in this world, this Japan world, I really enjoyed it. So I'll leave it at that. Anything you want to say before we get into spoiler territory?
Mm. I think that's yeah, I think it was good. We could leave it there.
All right.
Jump into spoilers. I actually, yeah, I mean, you said you liked the like the acting and how it looked. Did you like the film overall? Or if you don't want to answer that, who do you recommend to go see this film in theaters? If you do
Okay, so we'll get the
recommend
record.
them to go into theaters.
Yeah, I do recommend you see this movie in the theaters. I think I want more movies like this to be made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With really, like again, really clever screenplay,
Mm-hmm.
well acted, well uh, photographed. The director of photography, the
Mm-hmm.
cinematography is really good,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just a lot of like eye candy, and even like the things that
Oh,
morally,
no, no,
even the things that yeah, even the things that morally I would find objectionable, based on my worldview. Uh, it's not ugly. It's not the reality of it. I think is ugly.
Hmm.
It's artfully portrayed, and uh, yeah. So I say that to the film's credit, uh, and we can get into that a little bit. But
We can get
yeah,
in that. All right, cool,
yeah. If
man.
you're if
I
you're an
dig it.
adult, then yeah, I highly recommend you go and check this movie out.
Mhm.
You'll get a real insight into Japan and you know the contrast between Western culture and Japanese culture, broadly speaking.
Yeah.
It's just a fun movie, so I recommend it. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
it does
So
seem to capture a little bit of what it, like you're saying, a little, it captures a little bit of what it is, what it means, what it feels like to be in Japan, especially as a foreigner.
yeah. All
Hmm.
right. So with that said, at this point, if you have not seen the movie yet, please pause this live stream, come back to it after you've seen the movie, and let's get into this.
Leave
From
that
this
tab
point
open.
on,
Don't
yeah,
bury it. Don't go to another tab.
right. Don't clear out your cache just yet. From this point on, it is spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. You have now been warned. Spoiler alert. Here we go. All right.
And here we go.
All right. So let's switch it up. How about you talk about what you did not like about it first? We'll talk. We'll get
Ooh,
the negatives out of the way.
oh, get some of the negatives out. Okay.
I'm curious to see what you'll say.
Ah, man. So to be okay, so I saw this movie a little bit over a week ago. I've had a family trip in between. That said, I've taken a few moments to reflect a little bit. I'm still not fully decided on some things. As far as not like, I'm not. I don't know that it was so okay. The conflict and the like sort of crescendo of the conflict in the last what like 20 minutes of the movie, I didn't feel at the moment that it was resolved in a very satisfying way. Like I understand how it was resolved technically, because yeah, okay, so since we're in spoilers here, man, Philip winds up calling up Shinji and's like blowing up his business. He's telling him like, "Yeah, you're wrong, man. You're wrong. You're deluding yourself into thinking that you're helping people, but you actually aren't deluding yourself. You know this is not really helping people." Um, and I felt like it makes sense that they can get to a place of reconciliation within that. And honestly, he just wins over. Shinji in that regard. It happens in such a short and small amount of time that like part of me is like likes and appreciates that doesn't take a really long time for that battle to kind of play out, but a part of me wanted to see some of the back and forth pull of that conflict. It just kind of it happens sort of like before the funeral of one of our main characters, one of our main supporting characters, and then by the like end of the funeral. Uh, well, not technically by the end of the funeral. It happens like a little bit before the funeral, and then Shinji's on board a little before the funeral as well, and then it's kind of like resolved by the end of the funeral, which are just a couple scenes separated. But you don't really see on screen all that much of the back and forth, which is actually one of the things that I'll maybe say is good. This movie also takes a bit of a chance to pause the story from being told from our main character, which is technically something that I kind of do like in the film. But it's also, hmm, it also had not the movie had not fully established those other supporting characters. Mm, yeah, man, I'm fighting myself a bit. I think that's not a negative. Let me pull it back. So it's honestly the resolution of that conflict. I don't know that Shinji and crew would have Shinji in particular would have come to this conclusion. I think it's fine that he came around in the way he did. It's a more satisfying ending as a viewer because it's a kinder ending to the movie. But I guess what I'm referring to is maybe connected to the biggest kind of frustration of the film, which is pretty linchpin whether in the overall story, because it more or less turns out that Philip's disagreement and his what rubs him wrong about the company, even though he goes along with it for a while, is correct. He's the one that's not able to separate his emotions truly from what he does, and he never really tries to hide it necessarily. He plays along, which is technically like it's great as the main character that he's like the one out of the thousands or potentially hundreds of people that I've helped out that can't separate his own personal emotions from the job, and that's what brings about the change within this story. So it like makes 100% sense storyline wise, but it it does end up being that the foreigner is like the only one that could make a change in this society. And so how you feel about that kind of statement may affect how you wind up enjoying the film
Hmm.
overall.
Wait,
Uh,
so you're saying that only Brendan Fraser's character, only Philip, could change the company?
yeah, which is yeah, exactly, which is it's great as a story because like when you want to tell a story at one of the most interesting, if not the most interesting point of the like say business's history. Like this is the point where the most conflict has like come up in this business. Um, and him being a character that can't separate his emotions from the job is absolutely what is necessary to kind of like change things to go onto the right path for their company essentially. But it's hard not to feel a tiny bit of the like the white savior question character come up within the story
Mm.
from that regard. Tiny little bit. I can let it go because I like like Brendan Fraser, and I think I like his character and all that stuff overall. But you get a little bit of that. You do get that a little bit in this story. Also, I guess this will be the last thing I'll say on this topic. How they executed changing the company, they wound up removing the like apologies section or service
Apology
from
service, yeah.
yeah from the company. And I don't know that that's like the only thing that would need to be changed about the company. From what we've seen, I guess technically it's maybe one of the main things that would need to be adjusted. But a part of me kind of finds it a little bit hard to imagine them continuing the company overall. But if they do, like, I wanted to kind of find out more of, like, all right, well, Philip, he ran things differently. He wound up like, being willing to openly go against the company and go against a client's family to help out the, Hasegawa. Like, did they change the company in a way to like to address situations like that? Yeah. So I guess I felt like the company could have changed even more by the end of the film. I don't know that just
Well,
removing
yeah.
apologies like solved the situation.
Well, part of it was that like old girl quit, like she was done doing that, and she kind of had her fill of that. So I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
Hmm.
a condition of her return to work there was that like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah,
And
which
if she's not
addresses
doing it anymore, well
her.
then
Yeah, which addressed her struggle, with the company, but I guess like the greater kind of conflict with the company of honestly like lying to people, uh or lying to the family members of the clients essentially is something that could have been addressed also. Like, I don't know how they would have depicted, how they would have said it. Like, we're only okay with doing this if all I don't know, all the immediate major parties involved understand also. Like, but if you say something like that, then maybe you can't do the company at all. So I think, yeah, I think the kind of like ethical moral implications or of how Philip has changed the company, I don't know that it very satisfyingly was resolved for me by the end. Which is not like, so my problems with the movie, I guess, to say at a just to say up not up front, but midway, are relatively minor. I wound up liking this movie quite a bit. I think it's a little bit harder for me to pick apart and find like specific things that I didn't like about the movie. Just I guess from a remembrance, maybe Austin, you'll help me remember some things here or there that stood out for me. But um, hmm, yeah, okay. So our main character does wind up making some mistakes within the company at first as well, and for the sake of the story, he's forgiven. But I think he would have just been let go. Honestly, it's unfortunate. The story would have ended there, but which I'm happy that they played it like minorly unrealistically, where they were able to keep him around. That said, him being given a second chance, I think is reasonable too. So yeah, I really feel like I'm nitpicking here. So let me just move it on to you. Maybe I'll think of something that was more egregious as you wind up describing your stuff too.
yeah, for me, negatives. I kind of agree that things got wrapped up just a little bit quickly towards the end. Although I do like the way it was resolved. Um,
Hmm.
and I'll get into why I liked it and the things that I did like.
Okay.
Um, mm, so there are a couple things that are, this had to happen in order to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
The girl that he played her father finds a clip of him in some movie,
The convenience of it,
on
yeah.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's that. I was like, all right. That kind of had to happen so that the girl and the mother could reconcile.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so
It's
that
true.
whole arc could close itself out.
It's true. But it wasn't a straight line from her seeing it to like her knowing he's not telling the truth. Like there's a path in which he could have done this thing and still actually be her father.
Still
Like
been her father,
she
yeah.
doesn't know everything that he's done. Yeah.
Right. The mother was being evasive,
Mm-hmm.
and so that kind of um told the story for the girl
Mm-hmm.
for the purposes of the girl's story arc.
Mm-hmm.
And so a little bit convenient. All right. Um let's see what else. There okay, this is a super nitpick. And it might even just be a true fact of like gig work, which is what this guy was doing. So,
Mm-hmm.
can you be in Saitama at 9 o'clock? You look at the clock, it's like only like 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever out, and he hadn't even woken up yet. He's still trying to get dressed, still trying to, and then, he gets there late, which he kind of has to in order for the scene to kind of make the most sense. And again, it leads to something that I liked, but then the whole line, "Oh, I'll have to dock your pay," is like, oh, okay. You know, ah, little things like that bug me just
Exactly.
a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
These are kind of nitpicks. Um, uh, yeah, like I just think like, okay, if you told him he had to be here at this time, the company should have communicated he'll get there as soon as he can. We let him know on short notice he'll get there as soon as he can. Like practically speaking, but that's a nitpick. Most of the film I enjoyed. I thought it was good. Uh, some of it was bordering on like, all right, it's kind of a heartstring. It's kind of a manipulation in the script. When she makes him pinky promise. I'm like,
Yes.
all right, you
Yep.
just
Yep.
met him. I get it. It's a girl. It's a kid. Uh, I
But it's one of
think,
those moments where it's like, would that really have played out that way? Like, would it have been so? It feels a little like scripted for the good little girl to come up with something like
slightly,
that right
ever
away.
so
Yeah,
slightly ham-fisted.
yeah.
When they had the parents interview at the school, at the Aoyama Gakuen school, and he gives his impassioned speech. Uh, I don't know.
That was a moment that was making me a little bit angry with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, don't make it about you and what you want to say. That kind of
Hmm.
bothered me.
Yeah.
And then because they had to give the girl something to say at the end to kind of like, not exposition up, but kind of tie it up. Why do adults always lie? It's like anything that reeks of adults being lectured by children, I kind
Hmm.
of check out automatically. Kids are not that smart. Kids are not that insightful.
Uh-huh.
And the kids
Yeah.
that are on the furthest fringes of
Mm.
the spectrum, so we don't get demonetized. They're on the
Mm-mm-mm.
furthest. The kids that are that insightful are on the furthest um, fringes of the spectrum. Normal
Mhm,
kids
mhm.
don't ask existential questions. Why do adults always? How many adults do you know that have lied? And what did they lie? Like now, so now I'm like going into my like your mom lied to you once. Yeah, it was a big lie. Yeah, but how did one time? And you know
Yeah.
that he was paid to play a role. Now you know why do adults all? What are all these lies that you're experiencing? All like it just sounds like a fake thing to have a kid say to show that she's the moral compass. I'm like, oh god, kids are not a moral compass of anything.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a sort of a funny dichotomy where she's amazingly mature in her thought and her way to actually uh, process things, and
yeah,
then be
yet
like,
simultaneously
let's
naive
start over, and then
in the extreme.
simultaneously, exactly, extremely naive. Hmm.
Pick one.
She goes
I
to
mean, I would
she
have
goes
loved.
and reintroduces herself and everything. I'm like, oh
Yeah, I would have
dang,
loved if she just like in all plausibility, when she saw this, she probably would have broke down and cried. She was
man.
awfully stoic for a 10-year-old girl. I'm like, I don't buy
Mm,
this.
mm,
Um,
mhm,
it's funny. I didn't even think of these things when I was thinking about it today. Like, what are my negatives? I didn't even think about that. But as I'm like thinking about it, it was like, yeah,
mhm.
that kind of took me out of it.
Yeah.
Um, otherwise, and like the implausibility. Again, some of these things are part of what I like.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
like the implausibility of him like sneaking into Hasegawa's house and breaking him loose. right? They wouldn't leave some kind of note, "We'll be back" or whatever or
Oh, I
something.
know. Yeah, that was heartbreaking. Yeah. Hmm.
Because I could have that could have spared like that whole story arc, right? Like, at his request, we'll be back. He's
Yeah.
safe. He's with me. He'll be back. He asked me to take him somewhere. Like just something real basic. You know,
Yeah.
he wanted to show me something for the story I'm writing. Like something like that.
Yeah. And look, they could have done that, and they could have had Hasagawa like go and like snatch the letter or something like that, or reveal that he had it later. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, or like when they came back, he could have gotten chewed out. Like, Philip could have got it completely chewed out by the family. How could you do? We asked you not
Mhm.
to do this. Why did you do this? And then if they
Yeah.
wanted to sue, then like that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I was
So like,
expecting for us to show back up at the house, and the like service lady was like fired and like like leaving with all
yeah,
her
something like
belongings,
that.
you know? Uh-huh. Like, yeah.
And
Mm-mm.
also like because there's a part where like he's looking at the map and like plotting his route to get back home. And I mean, in fairness, they did show a nice little montage of them traveling. Maybe a little bit more. Uh, Not even a criticism. That's just something that I was hoping to see. Although
Mhm.
what they did show
Mhm.
us was really nice.
Yeah.
The countryside of Japan, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah, we needed the conflict in the movie. There was going to be conflict in the film at some point. There was
right.
totally a version where he wound up winning over the daughter, and did it secretly, he for Hasagawa, but like the daughter was in on it or something like that. But then you don't have the conflict that was necessary at that point of the film.
Right. So yeah. Okay. So those are my main negatives.
Real
Not a
small
whole lot.
stuff,
Mostly
man.
nitpicks. And again,
Hmm.
when you're dealing with children as characters, child actors, the little girl played the character really well. So
Hmm.
as far as child actors go, she did a really good job. Um,
Really
uh,
good.
yeah, I made so there was two other employees at the company. We saw the girl. I forget her name in the movie,
Hmm.
but she's
Hmm.
played by Mari Yamamoto. So I really liked her. The other guy was really funny, and you saw him just a little bit for the first job at the
Hmm.
wedding. I wish I would have seen him just a little bit more, just to flesh him out just a little bit more. Um, you really saw the girl and some of her jobs a lot more than the guy. The guy showed
Hmm.
up when he was needed, and he showed up great. He was a good character. I just wish I'd seen a little, just to flesh him out just a little bit more, since the movie was already willing to show what's going on with the B characters, the
Yeah,
supporting cast.
totally.
So,
Aiko was the female employee.
yeah, Aiko, and I really liked her. Um, she's beautiful.
And then I think
Uh,
Kota was the other guy.
um,
Oh, I know you found her beautiful. You knew the actress's name and everything.
yes, yes, indeed. Um, yeah,
Hmm.
I liked her, and so I liked her a lot. Uh, anyway, but yeah, no, she played a really cool character, and yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much sums up my like negatives for the film. Anything you want to say before we get into the positives? Because I really want to talk about the positives.
I can't really think of anything else at the moment. Um, I
Okay, then. Go ahead.
yeah. I think you did a pretty good job of covering the situation. I had
Yeah.
thought of like one or two examples of like such scenarios that the story could have gone, as far as like characters him running into other clients like out in the world. I mean, he does wind up running into I guess someone who he's a client of out in the world. But I was kind of like expecting, there to be some more crossover, or like once he's left a job, he then winds up coming across someone by accident that he was like released from. There was only so much time in the movie, and there's a number of like scenarios that they could have explored, or some other things to bring out more of the ethical slash moral kind of questions of the movie. Oh, you know what? I did think of something else. It's directly connected to my worldview as a Christian. All right. So if y'all don't agree with the worldview, just throw out what I'm about to say here. But the the implication that I personally had of him looking through the curtains at the temple and seeing himself, I did think, it was, I like that it's a connection to him asking Hasagawa like what was on the other side, and him giving a response, him kind of like
Oh,
chuckling and giving a response that
yeah.
he should look sometime himself. Um, yeah, I think the implications of like I don't know if the movie's trying to say it specifically that when he looks through the temple he sees himself, and so it's sort of like you're you're fighting you're the god of your own world kind of a thing that they're saying with it. I don't know if they are saying something like that. I don't
Okay.
agree with it personally.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned. I'm glad you brought this up. Okay, so here's the thing. This is a long. Okay, you know what? I'm glad you brought this up because I felt the same. I didn't feel exactly the same way, but I also had. I even forgot about this. I had an issue with the very last scene. Um, okay, so he goes in the shrine and he looks and he sees himself and he's like, he kind of chuckles and laughs to himself like he just had some epiphany. Bro, no, you did not. You just saw a mirror. Like, can we this like this
Yeah.
fake
Yeah.
deep, this fake depth that
Mm-hmm.
this is along the lines of like when I think about lazy endings or like fake depth or implied depth, this is along the lines of the end of the very last scene of James with Tommy Lee Jones and No Country for Old Men, where just like he just kind of trails off and the movie just ends. And then you're left to come to your own conclusions about what it meant. What did it mean to you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stop. Just please stop.
Yes.
There's
Yes. I
nothing
agree.
deep about what's going on right now.
No. No.
Like I never felt more secure and strong in my Christian faith while watching this movie than watching that last scene. It
Yeah.
is completely vapid, vacant, hollow,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
empty.
Mm-hmm.
Empty. Oh, you just
Mm-hmm.
see yourself. And that's the real. No, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even empty carbs, bro. It's nothing. There was nothing deep about that. Whatever message, stop. It's not deep. Whatever it is, I guarantee you it's vapid. I guarantee you it's vapid.
It's if
It-
anything, it's trying not to be offensive, and not being offensive does not mean truth.
yeah, you know what this
Yeah.
reminds me of? And I know it's a Japanese person that directed this, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Mm-hmm.
where they're coming from. Japanese culture, their perspective, la la la. I don't know. I mean, I might be able to guess, but I don't know for certain
Yes. Yeah.
where
I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
where he
Mm-hmm.
where Hikari was what she was trying to communicate. And I almost looked it up. I was like, you know what? No, if I have to look it up, then no. No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
But what the scene
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of was when I was in college, I was a Japanese major, ladies and gentlemen. Just to let you know how deep I am in the world of Japan, right? Like I was a Japanese major, which means I took language, history, culture. And in the realm of culture, we took religious studies classes because there's a whole lot to study when it comes to religion in Japan. And sure enough, oh my gosh, without fail, all of these religious studies classes, whether it's about Buddhism or the history of religion in Japan, it's always by some old white guy who grew up Episcopalian or Catholic, and he discarded that because, oh man, that's my parents' religion. Oh gosh, I grew
Mhm.
out of that a long time ago, and
Mhm.
now I just sit here and do Zen. Oh gosh, and the self filleting that they do to themselves. I'm not going to do the motion because I don't want to get flag
No, no, no,
demonetized.
no.
But for goodness freaking sake, man.
Yeah.
These people are
Yeah.
so up their own orifices, so up their own butts. It is so pretentiously, insufferably pretentious, obnoxious. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's no wonder they became
Yeah.
college professors, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
And it's
That's
the
true.
same story every time. I grew up in the Midwest. I went to church every Sunday, and
Mhm.
now I practice Zen. Oh gosh, blow it out your oh my gosh, blow it out your
I
behind
was
over.
forced by my family, and I was just a little robot. And
Oh.
now the
Okay,
world is
so
bigger than I thought, and I realized that
yeah.
it is all wrong.
So my dad, who is white himself, one of the books that he bought that we used to enjoy reading as a family was a book of jokes. There was two books actually. One book was like Yo Mama. It was just a bunch of Yo Mama so fat jokes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pops. And the other
Mhm.
one was Things White People Like. This was in the 90s, you guys. So like one chapter is like the idea of soccer, any religion other than their parents, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yep.
oh
100,
my gosh,
yeah, makes so much
any kind
sense.
of
Yeah.
ex hippies and they experiment. Never mind the
Mm.
fact that the whole movie was a giant psyop from the United States government and the CI. We're not even gonna go there. It doesn't matter because it's all stupid. But like, of course, they're hippies, and then they got a regular job, and then they went to school and studied and got smart and outgrew their parents' religion. Oh gosh, it's the most generic, basic old white guy trope you've ever seen in your whole freaking life.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You knew exactly what to write to get an A on those essays. It is the most basic, generic, standard issue, old white guy who thinks he's better than where he came from, schlock, pig
Yeah.
slop that you ever had to write to get an A in a class in your freaking life. Oh my gosh.
But
And that's what
Austin,
this
I
movie
thought
reminded me.
college was a place of higher thinking and true knowledge and
No, oh
reading
gosh.
things that are highly scrutinized and studied.
Yeah. Yeah, like you would think that, and I would punch you in the face because you would be so wrong. I would sock you in the face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there are a
like
couple.
it,
There's like two parts of this movie where he's talking with Hasagawa about their gods, and he's like, "Wow, you guys have so many gods," and then they're like walking through the forest, and he's like, "Man, you guys got a god for everything, huh?" I'm like,
uh,
really, really? We're going down
uh,
this path. We're going down this
right.
path.
Again, it's the same story. Oh man, I used to hate having to go to church when I was a kid. I just never saw the point in it. All right.
Hmm.
But all of a sudden,
So what
you
happened?
spend
I went to church until I was 15. So what happened? I turned 16. Oh, so
oh,
good, so good.
I
He
just
grew
never saw
up.
the point.
Yeah.
And now,
Hmm.
like, you spent exactly 45 seconds thinking about Buddhism or Shintoism, and now it's like you have this revelation. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh,
Hmm.
bro! Some folks are so freaking basic. It defies all decency. And so, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because it just reminded me of college. It's like, oh my gosh, like you found some special jewel. Like, no, you didn't. Like, no, oh gosh. I wish you were born in Japan. So then you could renounce your parents' religion and then you'd be a Christian because
Yeah.
that's just how basic you are.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
actually, and again, I say this as a Christian, and I hope everybody becomes a Christian. I hope everybody
Yes.
has
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Yeah.
transformational encounter with Jesus. I say that tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
If that
Yeah.
actually happened, then praise the Lord. I'm
Yeah.
just saying these people are just like, oh, these are the most easily influenceable people, and they're the ones teaching people about religion. It's a
Yeah.
it's a
I agree.
mockery of a sham. It's a farce.
Hmm. Yeah, we both completely understand the desires of like a pick your own religion path in life, and understand the feeling of growing up in a certain culture, in a certain religion, and feeling like you've been brainwashed within it. But when you really get down to it, one, I'm gonna tell you honestly, yeah, when you get to high school and you're in high school, you know a lot of things. You don't know all the things. You haven't decided. You haven't figured everything out. Especially not having researched it. I mean, I could be honest with you. If we're honest with each other, when it comes to knowing things, we do an incredibly terrible job at researching things before we come to decisions on it. So, to decide on something that's so important with having very little to no research, just that it doesn't align with something that you like or not, is not necessarily a great way to like make a decision on something. So,
Right.
I'd recommend
And,
give it more time and take in consideration that pick your own path may not be the true path in life.
right. So I mean, with respect to this movie, just understand that the people are making movie like just because they have the medium and the platform to make a movie and have the resources behind them, do not confer upon them any more depth than what their end product actually displays. Don't pretend something is deep just because you saw it in a movie. Movies are give some of the most vapid, nothing, one-dimensional messages ever. So yeah, that's probably my biggest gripe with the movie. It's just like
Yeah.
it ended on this fake depth. It's like, oh, this fake epiphany, this fake revelation. And it's just so lazy. It's just like, oh, I see myself. Oh, I understand something. No, you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand anything. You understand nothing. You learned nothing. Like unless there's some I mean unless he's like, oh, that's a funny joke or something like that. But no, it's presented in such a way that's like it's supposed to like stir some feeling of spiritual depth or something like that. And it is flat and it is completely vapid. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I definitely could have done without
oh,
that scene. And I'm even contemplating in my mind, like, I don't even know if it would have been made better if he looked through and just the audience didn't see what he saw on the other side. I
that
don't
would have
even
been
know
much
that
better. Or
yeah,
if it
it would have, but then I don't know that it would have either at the same time for me. Yeah.
listen, if all he did was like if it zoomed out from from above, as he walked to the Tory gate and he just bowed and he just cut the black, then that would have been fine. That would have been totally fine. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
I still, you know what? Another reason why I don't think I like this scene is
yeah,
he's so very infrequently interacted with that whole belief system that for him to feel like he just was like sold out into it by the end of the film, I don't know. I don't think it does service to the belief system in and of itself either. Um, but who knows? Maybe they wanted us to believe that he looked more into it, got deeper into it off screen. Because if it was just his interaction with Hasagawa, which is the main reason why he's going there, I don't know. I don't know that I would believe that he's gone through this whole journey and now he's like a Shinto Buddhist all of a
yeah,
sudden. Even having
yeah,
just like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, even maybe even a minute combined of runtime where he's even interacting with the belief system.
yeah. But yeah, okay. So, all right. So that's pretty much that. I think that completely encapsulates our negatives, what we didn't like about the movie. So we can cut it right there. All right, Josiah, what did you enjoy about this movie?
Man, yeah, enjoyed so much about the film.
Listen, I'm
You
still
touched
working with one of my old college professors. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. I paid for this crap.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Oh
I'm
no!
sorry. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, go ahead. Go
Man,
ahead.
your college professors should be sorry, man.
Uh,
These guys. Oh man, talk about having a blank check to just try and part your belief system onto whole groups of people. Um, which is what we're doing right now. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, I love so much about this movie. Yeah, when it came to yeah, beyond the cinematography, which okay, that I mean, cherry blossoms. Look, we all know Japan cherry blossoms is a beautiful thing to experience. I recommend going and experience it in person yourself in the springtime. That ending, what? No, second to last, third to last scene, in which he goes to visit Mia, and it starts on a sky full of cherry blossoms. Gorgeous shot, gorgeous shot. Just
And
captured
just
me.
for context, that the school year starts in April in Japan. Like elementary school, like just school in general, it starts in April. And April is when the cherry blossoms are in bloom in Tokyo. March, April. So
Mm-hmm.
um it actually makes sense that he would be there during that time, and that scene actually makes a lot of sense, just for
Yeah,
context.
that was on the one of their main rivers, right? I forget. I'm forgetting the name of that river.
So okay, so she went to Aoyama Gakuin Elementary School. If that school, elementary school, is close to the college, which is just outside the south exit of Shibuya Station, where the the world's busiest crosswalk is, you've seen it, the Times Square of Tokyo. Um, that might have more to do with where she lived in Tokyo than where the school is.
Yeah,
That's just a
yeah.
guess on my part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Yeah.
exactly where that elementary school is located, but it's a very prestigious elementary school. Just like the college is pretty prestigious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know somebody who went there a semester. I know somebody.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Hmm. Hmm.
So
Fascinating.
what did you like? So what did you like about the movie, Josiah?
uh, man, yeah. All these characters were great. It's shoot, totally fun moments and funny moments throughout the movie. You can touch on some of those. I won't touch on all of them, but yeah, the moment when he shows up to the funeral and he's late and everything, and he sits down and then halfway through the speech, the guy
The dude pops up.
the guy in the casket pops up. And he's like, "Oh!" and everyone's like giving him a dirty look.
Yeah, he kind of cusses. He kind of drops the f bomb, but it was like it was a jump scare.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Actually, if you look back at the scene now, if you watch it a second time, you're like it's a dead tail because like his funeral picture, he's like it's the silliest funeral picture. It's a really good scene.
Oh, it's
All right,
awesome.
keep going, keep
Yeah,
going, keep
yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah. Dude, I completely believe Brendan Fraser in this role from the beginning. I mean, yeah, not only good actor, but like the choices that he made within it. There's so many like looks and glances. Like you can tell that he is not doing a great job separating his emotions from the his jobs, and that does come through in some like literal dialogue, some actual looks and stuff. But yeah, the way he winds up carrying himself, and I just feel like you can see him getting invested in these people in a way that he's not supposed to be getting invested in these people. And I think he did a phenomenal job handling that. Um, yeah, I could definitely see some of the people, including him, be considered nominated for this film too. You were talking about him winning for the whale. Um, Man, I mentioned earlier when he gets arrested, he's not he's not on screen for a while. It's like we go to the supporting characters, and I think it is actually really cool that this man's locked up, and they don't play it like it's a mockumentary or anything like that. But I think it's a perfect time for him to be separated from the audience, even that we're with everybody else outside of what's going on to him with the law. Um, we got some awesome depth and emotional scenes with Aiko. Him like going running into her at the ramen shop and trying to talk to her, like you felt the tension coming from her right away. He picked up on it, and yeah, dialogue was just fantastic. Um Funnily enough, I don't specifically remember the music 100%, but I remember it being appropriate for what the film was. It didn't there wasn't anything that like pulled me out of the film musically. Attention to detail. There's a scene, the first scene where he's in his apartment and he's looking out and he's observing life and he's seeing how everyone is going about life, and there's that juxtaposition between what's happening in everyone else's lives because he's doing the whole like rear window thing where he's in his apartment looking into other people's apartments to kind of catch glimpses of what's happening in their lives. It's actually kind of a cinematography technique that I think I like most of the time it winds up happening. I could even think of like 101 Dalmatians, watching everyone walking down the street with their dogs. Like, I think when it's done appropriately and it's the point of view of the main character, it can tell a lot about what's going on in the main character's mind by showing what they're observing. Yeah, it picked like three or so families to show, and I almost wanted to see them like a couple more times in the movie. I know it didn't work like within the script, which is fine. But I could have like I liked it so much that I could have like seen more of their journey. But ultimately, the thing is showing them living their lives. Someone has a kid. A couple has a newborn. They're figuring out traversing newborn life. There's like an old man that's just kind of like watching TV. I think there was another lady um and they cut to him, and that not only is his building like dramatically uglier, but his window is like his room is dark, and there's like smudges and stuff on his window and stuff. So detail wise, it certainly paints him in a different place. Like he's not happy with life. He's alone. He came out here hoping for things. And he didn't look angry about it. He looked sad. So it's like I like that he's frustrated and he's broken, but he's not angry. He's not even shown to be like deeply like covetous or envious. He's just kind of processing what's happening and where he's at. And I think the movie's depiction of like where he's at in that regard, and even the regard of like him sitting on a chair like as a tree, like after he wound up doing an audition, and he's holding a cup of water, and you're like, how does this man even drink his cup of water like while he's sitting there? Like like you get the movie does a great job of showing this man's on the grind. It's not going the way he had planned it out, um, and then I think it was also smart at he winds up passing on the job immediately and is about to walk out, and then they bring up the one of the only moments in his history here over in Japan as a way to kind of like slowly pull him back in. Um, yeah, the cast of characters overall, I wind up liking. I definitely could have had more time with Kota, but the time that we did get with Aiko, man, I certainly could have had more time with her too. It's one of those films where
As could I. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, if you go to Japan to their rental company, I mean,
Hey. Oh my
um,
gosh.
yeah, she was a fascinating one, and I actually think I could have done with maybe even one more scene to show just to like better establish her friction. But it's fine. It's like you see her at the ramen shop, and she's like eating her food on it by herself. She's not overjoyed. You know that like something's going on with her. She's just trying to like rest and relax. She's not just looking carefree. So you know that like there's a little bit of something weighing on her, and then you wind up getting a couple of her client interactions, and so you do have enough of a journey with her to see where she gets to the point of telling that wife like this husband is lying to you, And I'm not even the mistress. He can't even be truthful to you in this way. Um,
Okay, so,
yeah.
yeah, I kind of didn't get the point of that. Like, why bring a fake mistress? Is it to hide the actual mistress? But then you're admitting that you have a mistress. I didn't understand how that worked or how that was in any way beneficial to the guy that was cheating. I was confused about that.
Yeah, I think
Is
it's
it to hide
because
the identity of the real mistress?
I think that's the primary thing.
And the assumption is that the wife had already suspected something or already found something. And this was to
Yeah,
throw
my
her off the trail, off the scent, or something like that.
yeah, my thought was that she had discovered something, and so he was bringing someone that could handle it in a professional way, that could say the right thing, because
Or like a foil or a patsy, maybe.
Ye foil or a patsy? So
To
yeah,
throw to
someone
throw
that
to throw off the scent for the real mistress so he can continue that relationship
I
while
mean,
pretending to have reformed. I don't know. I was like,
that's a
I don't know how these things
possibility.
work.
That is a
Yeah.
possibility. It could have been a number of things, like, it could have been to hide, like, not just the person so she didn't know the person, but, like, the type of person it was, like, maybe it's someone, like, way younger that he thought potentially wouldn't have been as respectful, to his
Maybe it's a
wife.
close friend or something,
Could be a close friend, could
family
be could
member, like who knows.
could be a dude or something that he's into,
Yeah.
like,
The
there
tangled
yeah,
webs we weave, right? Like,
man. Yeah,
yeah.
mhm.
Okay, so I mean, that's not as important. I was just a little curious and confused about.
No, no, that's so totally fine, yeah. But I think
Yeah.
the main thing would be he wants to control how it goes down, like, he know well, by buying the services, he thinks he's gonna get a professional handling of it.
It's like
This was the
controlled
opposite.
preemptive damage control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think at the very least, he was like, at least I can hopefully control that so that things don't spiral out of control. Now, obviously, this was the wrong time for him to hire because things spiraled out of control on him. But
Yeah, yeah,
like, if he
yeah.
brought in the actual mistress, one, maybe she never would have come. She would have, like, yeah, potentially
Yeah.
fought him. Or if she did come, she would just be she could have been disrespectful to his wife or something like
Antagonistic,
that.
all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Territorial, jealous, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there is
Okay, that's
also the
fair enough.
possibility that, yeah, he just continues on and she's with somebody else. Maybe she had even seen, like, some people at that mistress, him, like, maybe she's someone at work or someone that
Yeah,
the wife had interacted with him, and he didn't want
sure.
to have to, like, leave the company, or he wanted to continue, yeah, and for her to not think of that
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Okay.
Um
So yeah, so going back, you say so you liked her
I'm just
character.
guessing for these things. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
no
yeah.
experience in any of this stuff.
Yeah. It's a little side tangent, but
Yeah.
that's my fault. But yeah. Okay, so um all right. Anything else that you enjoyed, that you liked, that you thought was all right?
Dude, I like the tension. I like the tension that this film has of things are going well on the surface. You know, the job is going right. What's gonna happen? When is the person gonna find out? When is the girl gonna find out? When is how is this gonna play out? Where is this gonna go wrong? Like, I like a story keeping me kind of in suspense a little bit in that regard. Now, to some degree, Philip kind of, because he wears his emotions on his sleeve overall, you can kind of see, like, the moments where it's gonna go wrong. Like you mentioned with him and the board, not board review, the school kind of admissions interview.
The
Dang,
parent interview?
hated that man. Like, he kept on interjecting. I'm not fully happy the way that, like, they ended it, where he helped them get it, I guess, because of the things that he said. Like, it's fine. I like his character enough, and I can agree personally enough with his character uh to be able to like speak up for Mia because I liked his relationship with Mia overall. Um but like and yeah, it's not a problem with the movie. It's 100% in line with his character that he's going to speak up and say something. But man, it's like it's a little bit cringy in that moment where you're like, man, this guy is about to. He's like 1 second from flying off. He's like on the
Yeah.
border of exiting the company. He knows this is the last time he's gonna see her. Like, is he gonna ruin things for this
Yeah,
girl?
he's like teetering on the razor's edge of like
Mm-hmm.
screwing up this assignment
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
by talking too much,
Mm-hmm.
saying what didn't need to be said,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
not reading the air, as you would say in Japanese, "Kuki ga yomenai," like not reading the air, not
Mm-hmm.
reading the room, we would say in the English context.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why you love the character also. Um, like I said earlier, perfect choice that out of all these, if the main conflict or the main journey of the story is him taking on this rental family job, the fact that he can't actually do the job like as is called for him, but it's for a heart of gold kind of reasoning, works incredibly well for me. And
Yeah,
yeah, his relationship with Mia. I'm a gigantic sucker for father daughter, depictions
dynamics.
in dynamics, depictions in media. Um, yeah, there was a Japanese anime. What was it? I think it was called Usagi Drop. Um, man, real simple, real slice of life anime, really sweet and cute. I heard the manga maybe didn't go in that direction, but the anime that definitely ends up in a very sweet and cute area. Um, yeah, and the actors did a great job with it. Like in my mind, like I was saying, was curious to see how things are going. I'm like, I think there's a natural tendency, I guess, because of storytelling and the way we've grown up with like Disney movies and stuff, to like wonder, like, oh, is he gonna wind up with Aiko by the end of the movie, or is he gonna wind up with this mother and then actually become Mia's stepfather or something like in this movie? Now, the movie did not have that as like a possibility. That was just like a thought initially, but it doesn't play out where there's like any romantic implications. Maybe the like tiniest bit with Aiko. I can't remember what scene it was. But not really. It wasn't
It
concerned
was the
with like
scene after he gets out of jail, basically, and he's at her apartment. And they're
mm,
having like that moment where he talked about how he didn't go to his father's funeral, which is why he wanted to be there for Hasegawa. And she kind
mm,
of puts her hand on his arm. And then when they're walking from the funeral procession, they kind of have each other's hand arm in arm. It's 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 not quite mildly implied that they're together, but just that they had a warm moment.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So everything doesn't have to turn into like this romance,
Which is fine.
which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. You can have it in a movie like Wicked or something. It's obviously it's to be expected in that kind of a story, but
Yeah.
in this one, it's totally fine that doesn't happen. Um, although did think it would be. Although they did set themselves up for that to be a possibility, and it could have been interesting, even from a dramatic standpoint. It's always fun when you wind up having two characters that are like bitterly at odds at each other, but they're also on the same page. Like it was on the table starting from like the ramen shop and stuff like that, where or even slightly before. Oh, when she's talking to him in the stall, and she's like climbing above the stall and like yelling at him. If this were a Korean drama, that would have been the beginning of their romantic relationship, and they would have ended up together. But the movie's not trying to tell a story like that. If they had gone
Yeah.
down that path, I probably would have been happy with it. Not gonna lie, but
I would have been fine with it, but I'm kind of glad that they kind of went in a different direction.
yeah, it is such a short amount of time. They would have actually had to make their interaction a much bigger part of the movie, if not
Yeah.
the
It
biggest
would have
part of
had
the
to have been.
movie. Yeah, like you could imagine, I don't know, they got for a third of the movie, the like big job was they're paired together as a couple or something
Yeah.
like that. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who
All
knows?
right.
Like Mia's grandfather hires parents for her or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it had been. But there is a cute
And it
version of
would
the
have been that
movie.
scene where like they end up holding hands, that whole thing,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
you know?
Yeah, there is
And then like they say
definitely
goodbye to each other and it's all awkward. They don't know like how much affection to show each other. And that whole mismatch
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But they
Yep.
didn't go in that direction, so that's
No,
fine.
no, they didn't. But there is a
Um,
very cute version of this movie where Aiko and Philip are together, and Mia winds up being their daughter that they adopt or something. You
yeah.
know, like a
Something like that.
like a Tokyo grandfathers kind of a thing or something.
Yeah, yeah. Tokyo Godfathers, yeah.
Godfathers, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I mean,
Anything else?
I mean, I may think of it along the way, but how about you? You take a hack at some of the things you liked about this movie.
All right. So I'm kind of a sucker for good typeface. I don't know that this necessarily had
Mm.
my favorite kind of typeface, but I kind of liked it.
You
And
mean
the
like the
overlay,
rental family
yeah, like the font and
logo?
typeface,
Yeah.
and the way that it overlays on the background, the environment. I
Mm-hmm.
thought some of that stuff was done really well. Um, I like the beginning, the opening, kind of like photo collage, like camera collage of like all the things going on and the buildings and the trains and the people and Tokyo and all this stuff. It's kind of a artsy way of starting the movie, and I kind of like that. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I like, okay, like the acting was good. I like Mari Yamamoto a whole lot.
So
Okay, but like
you're telling me this movie and Tron Ares are the best films this year, huh?
it's pretty neck and neck, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so the two big takeaways that I thought were my favorite positives about the movie. The first one I'll say like the humor and the
Hmm.
it's funny in like a Curb Your Enthusiasm kind of way. Larry David, Japanese Larry David kind of way. And
Mm-hmm.
what I'll say is going back to how well the screenplay is written, the script is written. I feel like every laugh in this movie is 100% entirely earned. Um, there's nothing that's like, oh snap, I slipped and fell, and then it falls. It's like, okay, haha, this is supposed to be the funny scene. No, 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 no. Like the funny scenes are just woven into the screenplay in a way that feels totally natural and totally earned. Um, like when he goes to apply for the job and the guy like, oh, I recognize you, you know. Oh no, no, first the Shinji's like, oh, you were so good in that commercial to kind of like reel him back in. And then
Mm-hmm.
Kota, he's like, oh, I remember you. And he starts like replaying the commercial and stuff. And then he shakes his hand. He's like, he didn't want to wash his hand. He was like, there's a quick scene where he's like, he touched my hands, but like it plays it so straight. But like when I watched the theater that I watched in was at least halfway full, and I could tell by the people and the way they were laughing that these were people that had been to Japan before. They had spent some time in Japan, that were familiar with Japan. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, for some reason, I think we got it in a special way. We just kind of understood what was going on and why it was executed so well. The humor in this movie is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the first jump scare, when the guy looks up in the tomb in the coffin, yeah. And then old girl looks at him and she's like,
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't realize that he was in a fake dramatization, not even a dramatization, but just a fake funeral. Nobody told him. They just told him to show up here at this job. And so when he shows up late, through no fault of his own, really, because he got late notice. And then he just has to sit down, and then all of a sudden this guy pops up, and he's completely frazzled. And as you're right there with him as you're watching it, and it was
Mm-hmm.
super funny. Like people were
Mm-hmm.
cracking up.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Even that guy when he's thanking everybody for such a wonderful service, and he's got like the makeup on his face and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
something very subtly funny about that stuff too.
Yeah.
The
When
toothpaste
Shinji,
commercial itself that they shows, and
yeah,
his like
it's
pirate commercial also.
yeah. Well, I think the pirate was he was actually from a movie or show he was in, and the
No, no,
toothpaste
no,
was a
no.
commercial. Yeah, because he was speaking in Spanish in that. He was the pirate. He was speaking in Spanish, so I think it was
Hmm.
just like some pirate role he was playing in some TV show or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still funny the line he
Oh no,
wanted
no, it
to
was funny. I
deliver.
mean, no,
Yeah,
no, yeah, but I don't think it was commercial though. I think it was just the movie he was in,
yeah,
and then
that was a show. Yeah.
The Toothpaste Man was the commercial thing, right?
Hmm.
And so, there's a lot. Okay, so like when they break one of the ones that's like when he breaks Hasegawa out, he's like, "Here, I brought you some clothes." He's like, "Man, that's stupid. Here, I got my own clothes." And it pans up to him. He's like, he got his hat. He's completely overdressed for what they're about
Uh-huh.
to do.
Yeah, yeah. But
Just like when the
it's
old
his own style, you know?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
when he goes to his compound, his house, right? And he's like really early in the morning, it's still dark, and he's waiting for the mom or the wife or whatever to walk out of his little door, and this giant colossal man called Brendan Fraser is like climbing, getting through the tiny little door. It's
Mhm.
just the visual of it. It's super funny.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
man, there were a lot of just like funny scenes, funny, like just funny dialogue. It was really well done. My favorite, the funniest scene, the one that got the biggest laugh. I don't know in your viewing in your theater but when
Mhm.
we watched
Mhm.
it, so he's in jail and the two other actors they're going and posing as like lawyers
As
and they're
police.
like, huh?
As police.
No. They were posing as like immigration lawyers or something like that. And then so then they go in there, right? And then another person rings the doorbell, like, "Hey, I'm from the police department." They're like, "Oh man, we're so screwed." And they walk in and it's Shinji. And they all look at each other. And like they all
Yeah.
had the same idea,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And to me, that's what makes the whole phone call was like, "Oh man, we're really hurting people. We're not really helping people." Yeah, it's kind of hacky and it's kind of ham-fisted, but it directly resulted in that scene taking place. And so you would be forgiven for that scene in the movie as the director because it led directly to like one of the funniest scenes.
Yeah.
So like oh and like so he has he is a he's a patron of a love hotel and he regularly sees a prostitute. And I'll get to like the significance of that in just a second. But he takes
Oh
uh
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
he takes Mia on this like cat festival or whatever. And they go she goes to get her fortune read, and the lady that's reading her fortune is the same prostitute that he sees regularly. And she's like, "Oh, do you guys know each other?" Because he kind of said, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And like he made it seem like he knew her. And he's like, "Oh, we work in the same company." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm customer service." And it's actually it's a super funny line, like it's a sad reality, yes, but like the way that she played it off was actually really clever, the way they wrote it. And so there's a lot of that in this movie. There's a lot of that in this movie. I'm not even remembering all the different scenarios and scenes,
Yeah.
but
A couple funny moments were also like when he goes to wake up Hasagawa and he's like all groggy or whatever, and he tells him jailbreak, and he's like jailbreak, and he's like all excited all of a sudden.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
And then Genobi, she told us as
yes,
well. Brendan's character being told not to bring up a certain topic, which is like
yeah,
Ronin of Japan or something.
of Yokohama, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Ronin.
With the old man, cracked her up, especially later when he's like reenacting doing seppuku, and the old man's like, "Is that Ronin of Japan?" And he's like,
And
"No,
he
no,
starts hitting him
no."
with the sword. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh
That was pretty
huh.
good.
Yep.
Man, what there were some other scenes, even with Mia, the girl, they had some funny scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, and in addition to the funny scenes, there was a lot of heartwarming scenes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, well, yeah, there's just a lot of like, there's a lot there. This is a
Yeah,
really
dude. Like
well
him
written
setting up
screenplay.
the him hanging up the jellyfish little model that she made him.
Uh-huh.
And it's like the one nice thing in his whole apartment, whole like the only like human touch in his whole apartment.
Right.
Man, it gets me. It got me.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good stuff there. So that's the one thing. Like the humor is really really good, and I would say the heartwarming moments at Hasegawa's funeral. Number one, the way they shot it and the way they showed that, like all the flowers, gorgeous, gorgeous. The way it's shot and framed, and just like him having all those flowers, beautiful. But like he gave him his photos back. He didn't share it with the family. He like, yeah, like I'm gonna see you again, and he put it in his like, like inside of his inside of his like lapel or the coat pocket,
Coat pocket.
and he
Yeah.
allowed he honored his secret, even in death.
Hmm.
Like it would have been totally appropriate to say, "Hey, when we were going, this is what he was looking for. This is a girl." Before you guys were ever even in the picture, this was a guy this was a woman, a young woman, young lady that he had fallen in love with. She died when he came to Japan. There would have been nothing wrong with him disclosing that, especially
Hmm.
after everything that had happened. Is like, listen, this is why he wanted to go. But something about him, he honored his secret because he told him, like, a man has his secrets, right?
Hmm.
Like he dug it up, he found it. It was his secret. And even in death, Philip honored his secret. And something about that
Hmm.
really appealed to me. I really liked that.
Yeah.
He put it was very classy. Like he just kind of put it in, he hid it so nobody else would see it. And then he just showed all like just the arrangement of those flowers around just his head. It kind of reminded me of that scene from Frankenstein when the people died and had their head. That was very sterile. This
Oh
was
yeah.
beautiful.
It
Like,
was.
man, I kind of want to, bro. I kind of want to be buried like that. Like, I ain't gonna lie,
Hmm.
that is a baller way to go out.
Hmm.
Super fly. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just. Oh my gosh,
Hmm.
so tasteful. Like
Oh
just
yeah.
such a classy way to go. And like the coffin that he was in, like just gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And the way that they filmed it, it was just really, really well done.
Yeah.
And
Small
so,
little attention to detail in that movie regarding that scene. They showed that like yeah, he had flowers basically like all around his body and his head, but there was enough space for him to put in the photos. But
well,
then
no,
when
no,
they
no.
cut,
So while when he was doing it, they were still placing photos, and then
yeah,
they cut to a point where it was all finished, and it was just all around them in this beautifully ornate way.
yeah,
This kind of like,
yeah,
okay, is that what you're
that's what
saying?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like they showed where the flowers were in the process being placed. He puts in the photo, but then they cut to later on when it's
Right.
done, and like they filled in the flowers. So,
Yeah, it was just his
uh,
head,
yeah,
and
hmm
it's like it was just it was gorgeous. That's all I can
hmm
say. Like,
yeah,
it's a man, it's a dead man there, but like just the way that they like adorned him with these lotus flowers or whatever, chrysanthemum flowers,
hmm
these white flowers. It was beautiful. When you see it, it's like, oh wow, that's how I want to go.
hmm
Um, so
Which you brought up Frankenstein, so, like was a quick little fast tangent in in Frankenstein. They showed the caskets themselves had like sculptures of the person inside with like a real like filigree, not filigree, like
porcelain or
ribbon.
something,
No, but like it was porcelain, but it was depicting kind of like a ribbon or like a
like a
cloth
velvet.
sort of
Yeah,
velvet kind of veil or something around them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mia Goth's character at one point in the movie, she wears something like that also. So a
Oh,
tangent, but
interesting.
slight nod to where her character's going
Got it.
in the movie. Attention detail. Anyways, all right. So
Oh, interesting.
back to the
Yeah.
show.
Okay. So that's the first thing. Number one, the humor is very. It's so well written and so well integrated, and the laughs are 100% earned
Mm-hmm.
and warranted. Number two, this kind of gets into like the meta narrative about this movie. And the meta narrative is that Japan is broken and Japanese people are broken. And the only way they can subsist and sustain themselves and survive is through deception and lies. And that a man has an entire company built on lies that people ask for because reality is too untenable. They can't cope with reality. They can't be honest. Everybody's a liar and a coward, so to speak. Like there's a brokenness in all of this, right? Um, Philip, he goes, he doesn't have relationships, so he has a fake relationship with a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a real relationship. The job he's doing, again, his moral qualms that surface throughout the movie
Mm.
are warranted because you are lying to people. And the movie's honest about that. You see it most poignantly when Mia and her mom make up, right? She finally walks. You see her. It's actually a very poignant scene. She's by herself in the living room folding laundry. You see her from her back, and you just get the way it's shot and the way it's framed and everything. It's done like it's the implication just of that scene is that, man, there's a huge rift between them, right? This little girl and her mom, and she's just very quietly, folding. And then the daughter goes and lays her head in her lap. And the mom just breaks down and starts crying. And she apologizes. Gomen, gomen nasai. Sweet, no, gomen. Like, I'm sorry for lying to you. Right. Because, and you see that the daughter had kind of like shut her out for a period of time because she was hurting.
Yep. Yep.
The mom lied to her about something really, really gigantic, like her having a father, and it was all a lie. It makes sense that she would need some time to process that.
Mhm.
And so the movie is honest about that. It's portraying like a society that can only survive with lies. That's not a functioning society. Japan is beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. And you see that in this movie. The cinematography, the way things are shot, it's gorgeous. Eye candy galore. And just beneath the surface of that intense beauty is an even more intense brokenness. This resonates with me personally because I was a church planner there. I was a missionary there. I saw what people are. I mean, I lived this. I saw what it was and I saw what it is. And I love Japan. I plan to go back, but I'm not naive to the brokenness that's there.
Yeah.
And like it's honest. This movie is remarkably honest about just the level of brokenness, societal, cultural brokenness that exists there. Um, People are so broken that they need a rental family because they don't actually have a family. You know, maybe because of their own reasons, because of circumstances, because of their own choices, the consequences of those choices, whatever the case may be, they cannot live an honest life. And this is not unique to Japan. Um, Listen, America survives and subsists on a whole series of lies, going back to the founding, even everything that's going on in present day. So, like, this is not a unique criticism of Japan or Japanese culture. It's not that. But this movie is honest about the ways in which Japan is broken and how even a foreigner, when he comes into this culture, eventually he succumbs to that brokenness himself. You know, again, like he's just kind of living, trying to survive, and he ultimately has to lie. And he has moral qualms with it at first and throughout, and then he starts getting attached to the lie and he tries to make the lie true. And that creates real problems. Now, these problems are
Does.
wrapped up and tied up in nice little bows for the purposes of the movie. Real life is probably a whole lot messier than that. Not probably, it absolutely is a whole lot messier than that. I'm
Yeah,
glad for
this
the
this
purpose
this
of the
movie
movie.
ended a lot more warmly than it deserved to have with the
I mean,
subject
given the
matter.
circumstances and the reality of what they're doing, for the purposes of the movie and the viewing experience, I'm glad that things got resolved pleasantly. I'm glad that it did.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I didn't come out of this movie totally depressed. But
Which
this
was
movie
definitely
is,
a possibility. I was definitely thinking that could happen, especially from
yeah,
a Japanese director.
for sure. They're not tied to like, a Western notion of a happy ending
Hmm.
after everything.
Hmm.
Nor are they necessarily tied to the whole thing, like everybody has to be an anti-hero and the ending can't really be happy. they're not really tied to those, those types of archetypes like
Mhm.
we are here in America and in the West, broadly speaking. Japan is
Mhm.
its own thing. And so I'm glad that it ended pleasantly. But yeah, it's like it's playing with the duality of Japanese society, it's like the juxtaposition of beauty and ugliness, the truth and the lie, the tatemai, which is the Japanese word for like your customer service forward facing, face, and your honne, like the true causal core of who you are, your true emotions, your true feelings about a subject, a thing, or person or place. And so it plays with that. You see both, right? You see both. And the movie plays around with that and it walks this tightrope, because you could just be totally absorbed into the lie and then the lie essentially becomes the truth and the reality. And it doesn't let you do that, but it doesn't go as far as like showing the complete brokenness of it either. It shows you the brokenness, but it doesn't go as far as it could because it's not that kind of movie. In a weird kind of way, either extreme would kind of be justified because people go headlong into lies and into deceptions, and then they just begin to believe their own lies. So the movie really could have gone in that direction, or
Mhm.
things fall apart, and the movie could have just chronicled the destruction and the falling apart of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which actually you remind me. One of the things that I think I wanted a lot more of was one of the like big reveals of the movie that you kind of feel coming a little bit. That Shinji's family that he goes home to is also a rental
Oh
facility.
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, I
Hmm.
was gonna talk about that. Super like again, super broke. Like he succumbs to his own brokenness. The brokenness that he's like putting out into the world, he has succumbed to it himself. And it's almost kind of like a dark comedy in some ways. Like in that way, it's like it's kind of a dark comedy in a manner of speaking, not in a ha funny way, but it's like there's something a little macabre about that. And like his life personally is so broken that he doesn't even have a real family, and he has to come home to a family that he knows is fake just for some semblance of like peace, wholeness.
Hmm.
It's all a lie, it's all a facade, it's
Hmm.
all fake. And you see that it even gets to him at a certain point, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Even
Yep.
even he has to like send them home because he
Hmm.
just can't deal with it. There's too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So that plays into the ending being way faster and a little less satisfying as it could be. And why I'm like surprised that just removing apologies is kind of like, well, now everything's fine. Yeah, it's a little lacking for me, partially for that reason too.
and that's a fair criticism
Hmm.
because yeah, I mean, emotions go way deeper than that, and resolutions are often a lot fraught with much more
Yeah.
friction and they're a lot messier in real
Yeah, I
life.
think we're supposed to believe that he's found his peace within uh him and Philip and Kota and Aoi
Aiko.
Aiko, sorry. Not Blue, Aiko. I think we're supposed to believe that like he's happy now in life because he views them as family in a way, and they're doing this together. Like they're choosing to do it. Like they re solidified. They're not doing it just for a job, but this is like their way of life, kind of a thing.
And they're
Um,
helping people,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's still the foundational fundamental conceit is still there.
yeah,
They're lying to people. They're selling people a fantasy.
yeah,
Ah, because real life doesn't afford them that.
mm-hmm.
There's something about the brokenness of real life. And again, this could be Japan, this could be any country. Now, this is a particular phenomenon in Japan, and so it's, you know,
Yeah,
I guess you would say apropos that they tell this kind of story. But
yeah,
yeah, people are hurting,
mm-hmm.
and this movie I mean,
All right.
it highlights like the whole kikikomori thing. It
Mm-hmm.
shows a few other,
Hikikomori.
lifestyles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, like I
Mm-hmm.
can't connect to people on my own, so I have to pay somebody to play video games with me and to go watch a lady reveal herself, basically a burlesque show or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I just, like real life doesn't afford me the type of, you know, intimacy, the type of connection, the type of life that I want. Real life does not afford that to me, so I have to find other means by which to experience these things artificially. It's a
Yeah.
simulation, maybe a simulacra of what life could be, should be, but is not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. PSA moment. I'm glad you brought up the prostitution because we get another picture into Japan and even kind of maybe the secular world's viewpoint of sexual relationships. There's a moment in which he's together with the prostitute, and she basically says she finds out what he does, and she basically says, "Oh, we're the same, but your job is even more difficult, or is even more challenging, or even deeper." Because you're dealing with emotions and she's just dealing with a physical
Physical.
relationship. Yeah. So that actually, popped into my mind and, kind of like was flagged a little bit partially because there is a reality I've heard and I've seen some videos on Japan and prostitution and how it's used in the country. I've seen some videos from I think maybe like Takashi from Japan and stuff like that, talking with people and asking people about relationships and in particular girls and their relationship with their boyfriend and what they think about their boyfriend going to see a
Yeah. Or
prostitute and spending
husband.
time
Yeah.
or husband going to see a prostitute and spending time with a prostitute and yeah, it's surprising. You'll come across that most of the time they're actually okay with it because they have this view of like it's just a physical thing, like he needs to get it out and like I'd rather he
Yeah.
do this than, have a mistress or have an emotional relationship with somebody.
Yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen those same types of videos. Takashi from Japan, he's a popular YouTuber. He's done stuff like that. Part of it is like the sample size that he's asking. He's asking like younger women in metropolitan Tokyo these kinds of questions, which doesn't make them invalid, but it is a particular subset of women in Japan.
Hmm.
Um, it's not irrelevant either. But like, just like, this doesn't, I mean, obviously you're not saying this, but like obviously, and neither is Takashi in his videos or any of the
No.
other people that make these videos.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody's saying that this is all Japanese women, this is how all of them feel.
No, no, no.
And nobody's
Hmm.
saying that. And also, like, again, this is a particular subset. You go out in the countryside, feelings are probably going to be a bit different. You know, you get outside of the major cities, feelings are going to vary a bit more. But there is a sentiment that says as long as it's just physical, as long as it's just sexual, and there's no emotions involved, and as long as he doesn't bring any diseases, illnesses, STIs, STDs home and infect me with it, what he does on his own time before he gets home, that's his business. That is the view for a certain subset of people in Japan. I don't know how pervasive that view is. Eh, it could be fairly pervasive. I don't know exactly, but it's definitely like, yeah, that's definitely a view of a fair amount of women in Japan. Um, I look at that as a man from America, who grew up in a kind of Christian or Christianized worldview because I'm in America. And as a Christian personally, by personal conviction, my personal faith, I look at that and like my heart breaks. Like, oh man, that is a brutal life. Um, it's a brutal life for the husband who's cheating, and it's a brutal life for the wife that's being cheated on. and it's a brutal resignation of like, this is
Mhm.
just what it is. There's a real breakdown. Like, are you marrying someone that you're even attracted to, that you even want to sleep with?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
were you
Yeah.
just sleeping with them to get kids, and then once you get the kids, you become an ice queen? Like, what's going on? Like, there's all kinds of things. Another thing that's very interesting in this movie does not shine a positive light on Japanese men at all. Like, all the guys that are being helped, like they're all like on some level of like
Mm.
relational dysfunction.
Mhm.
Hasagawa has a broken relationship with his wife and his daughter in particular. They have a really broken relationship. He wasn't a good father. He
Mhm.
regrets not
Yeah.
being there when she was younger and how that's playing out now.
Mia
The
doesn't have a
guy,
father for whatever reason, we don't know why exactly.
yeah, it's implied that he was out working. He was filming movies. He was, you know, uh, being a Japanese movie star, director, or whatever he was, and that took him away from his family. And he has come to regret that. He says that in the movie throughout the course of his conversations with
Yes,
Philip.
yeah, yeah, he did. Mhm.
The video game guy, the hikikomori, he's a shut-in. He doesn't have any social life outside, so he just plays video games. It's a sad existence. All of these guys are living. I mean, even Philip himself is living a lonely. He has to go and get his needs met by a prostitute. You know, there's no real connection there. It's a transaction, and it's depressing. I can't help but feel like there's a commentary about Japanese culture that maybe because the music is so aspirational and so like happy-go-lucky in certain points.
Mhm.
There's the lesbian couple. All right. And all right, they can't be honest about it, but like, again, listen, I'm a Christian. Um, Biblically, there is a model for human flourishing and human relationships and marriage that consists of one man and one woman. Outside of that paradigm, it is contrary to human flourishing and to healthy relationships. So my cards are on the table. Um, but yeah, they can't even be honest about it. You know what I mean? They have to pretend that they're going to Canada or something like that. And everybody's just like so thankful that you participated in their lie. It's weird,
I actually don't
but
think
maybe it's not
the
so weird.
parents knew. I think yeah, I'm pretty sure it was only
No, no,
the
no. You're
daughter
right.
knew
I'm
because
talking
the
about just the
man
daughter.
that father gave him a giant hug. He was so
Oh, absolutely. I'm saying you're
yeah.
participating in the daughter's lie,
Yes,
in the
yes,
daughter's
Philip is
deception.
definitely, yeah.
And they're
Mhm.
all bowing afterwards, they're all smiling. You're supposed to like feel really good about this. I'm like, no, I don't feel good about this. Listen, for worldview, religious reasons, yes, I fall down on the other side of that issue. Full disclosure. But like, this is not a happy occasion, really. It's all a house of cards. And at some point, you're gonna come up against a gust of wind and it's all gonna come falling down. Like, either they're gonna try to visit you in Canada or they're gonna find you here still in Tokyo. Like, this is destined to, what is done in darkness will always come to light. This is destined to blow up and backfire and blow up in your face, is what I'm trying to say. There's a
It does,
real,
yeah,
like,
technically it does end that scene in a very happy and, yeah, positive way with the music and everything, but you know exactly that's gonna happen at some point.
yeah, this is
Mhm,
this is this is all a facade, and facades generally don't last. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm.
And so maybe I don't know. Maybe Hikari herself or himself. I'm not sure.
I didn't
I
look
think
deep
Hikari is the
into it.
girl's name.
Yeah, it looks like it's a female director.
Yeah, like
That
maybe
yeah.
she herself like ironically doesn't see like the tragedy, because like again the music would lead you to like feel good. This is a feel good moment in the movie, but there's nothing to feel good about. Like,
And it's
this is
actually
all a
the
lie.
moment that solidifies Philip, like, for at least for a time period in this job. Like, from that scene, he seems to be like super driven to be doing this. And then his like
Yeah,
connection with Mia like deepens him into, and Hasagawa, like they all deepen him into doing what he's doing.
yeah. So it's almost like when you watch like Ocean's 11 whatever, and you find yourself rooting for the criminals, rooting for the bad guys. um I don't know, something about that. There's a weird irony to this movie. It's really
Mm,
good. I recommend you go watch it. Check it out. Like there's a lot there to like. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like and I put this in things that I like because like it's honest about like there's a weird contradiction, like a moral contradiction. You're rooting for liars, or you're just like watching their story. I don't know. Maybe you're not necessarily rooting for them, but you understand that they're doing a job that they're being paid to do. But it's just a commentary on in this case Japanese society and the level of brokenness that's there. And again, like the last scene where he's at the
mhm,
shrine, it's so hollow and it's so empty.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
but it's presented to you like it's like this moment of depth or revelation or epiphany, but there's nothing. It's hollow, it's empty. There's nothing. It
Yeah.
is it's
I think
it's
she
it's
does. I think the director does know because, like you were pointing out earlier, his conversation with Mia at the end there, with her asking about why adults lie. I think it's supposed to be an understanding of like why they're doing this whole thing overall. Like it is acknowledging something is not
yeah.
correct.
No, I agree. So like
Mm-hmm.
I think the film overall portrays that dichotomy, extreme beauty and extreme brokenness, extreme ugliness. And it's like that you're bouncing between both of them in real time, in real time in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the movie and that when he's speaking to Mia at the end does speak to that, but the film really shows you that. And even Hasegawa going back to his hometown, it's like that's who he truly was. And before he lost his
Mm-hmm.
mind because he had dementia
Mm-hmm.
or Alzheimer's or whatever it is he was losing his memory, he was losing his faculties, and before he lost it completely, he wanted to see the true love of his life just one more time
Mm-hmm.
before he forgets where that vase was buried. You gotta get to that tree, bury it, just so he could just feel something real for just one more moment. And it
Man.
almost makes sense that like right after that, that's when he passes. That's basically when he, begins to, he collapses and falls. He doesn't die in that moment, but very shortly
Mm-hmm.
after, like
Mm-hmm.
um,
Man, yeah, which
that's
is also so sad that we don't see him coming to some better moment with his daughter. Like we see them fighting, and then yeah, we don't have a satisfying resolution to their dynamic.
no real scene of reconciliation. Although she
Mm-hmm.
does give like a very like pretty speech at the end. So who knows? I don't know, whatever. But like
Yeah, yeah.
everybody's trying to like everybody wants something real. Everybody wants something tangible, and everything is plastic and fake.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this interesting commentary, and I don't know if it was intending to be a commentary or just an interesting story with a lot of fun scenes. I don't. I'm not trying to psychoanalyze Hikari and the motivations and what was going on. Maybe I'll see it in some like director's commentary someday. Whatever. I'm not trying to do all of that. I'm just saying what the film itself is. It's like a picture of dichotomy, contradiction, and I appreciate it for its honesty. I don't think it's trying to hide either or downplay either. And the fact that they were able to wrap that into an engaging story, I think that's in the plus category. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say about what I liked about it. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like the
Last
color
thing I
palette
would.
and like I like the
Mm,
color palette of the film too.
yeah.
A lot of pastels, but
Mm-hmm.
pastels that work and the film grade and just kind of the way it's all done. I found myself enjoying that on a
Mm,
technical aspect.
mm. Yeah. Last thing I'll say about going back a half step to the prostitution situation we were speaking on. Even outside of a religious belief system, which is not where I typically try to go, but even outside of that, psychologists have known for a while and have made it clear that there's no emotionless, connectionless physical interaction. Every time it winds up happening, it winds up creating a connection mentally in the brain. So even if you don't care about any belief systems, there is the science behind, like, you wind up connecting with people, you're subconsciously creating connections that after a certain
Oh
point
yeah.
your mind is not going to be able to support a intimate and emotional relationship with one person.
Right. Number one, your heart has its own nervous system, and it's not just in your brain. It's also like you have like nerves, wiring in your heart, the organ itself. And when you bond with somebody, that's why, like, like that's why couples start looking like each other. They start acting like each other. They start talking, smelling like each other, talking like each other, thinking like each other. Like when you bond with somebody, you really, really do bond with somebody at the biochemical level. So you need to be really, really careful who you bond with, you know? Like, listen, oh gosh, again, not to get all biblical, but like, hey, when you sleep with a prostitute, you become one flesh with her. Like the Bible talks about, like, don't do that. That's a bad idea. It's going to cause ruin into your life. This movie doesn't show the really dark side of what happens when you're frequently seeing a prostitute and what that does to you and what that does to your life and your ability to connect with women. It doesn't touch any of that stuff because like the movie doesn't have time to get into all that. Fair enough,
Mhm,
right? But like
mhm,
just on a larger point, I would say like I said earlier, this is just an example of seeking to find or feel something real through artificial,
mhm,
arbitrary, fake
mhm,
means,
mhm.
and it's real.
Yeah, yeah, and that did make me think of one thing, writing wise. Based on Philip's character, we actually should have seen him develop a connection with that prostitute and explored his inability to separate his emotions in reality from the
Given his
situation.
difficulties of separating with other people that
Yeah.
he just met.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, if the movie was longer, there might have been more of a subplot.
Yeah.
But if the movie is
Yeah.
longer, you probably would have seen something develop between him and Aiko as well. And then there would have been an internal conflict between,
Mhm.
well, I go to this level hotel, but I have real feelings for you, like, you know.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
they would have been walking down the street and there would have been like this weird, awkward run in. The prostitute's walking by and it says, oh, something like that. Something stereotypical, like that. So, but we didn't get that. That's not where this movie went, and so it went in its direction. And I think that it shows like what it really is, and for that I applaud it. And when I say what it is, what I'm talking about is just like life in this society where there's so much real beauty, but at the same time, like so much of your life is just fake and hollow and not based in reality. And you are enslaved, even if temporarily, you are enslaved to a fantasy, a facade. Yeah. So shout out to Hikari for directing and writing the screenplay for this movie. And yeah, I recommend people check this out. I think this is a worthwhile watch. There's a lot going on that works really well in this movie. And it shows it shows it portrays certain realities very artfully
Mhm.
and the tension between those realities. Yeah. Any parting thoughts? I got 4% on my laptop. Um, Go ahead and give your final thoughts. I'm gonna see if I can get a cord real quick. I'll be
Oh, no, no,
right
no,
back.
don't worry about it. Oh, oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, uh, no, man, I think we covered a vast majority of what we wanted to say about this movie. It was
All right.
cool. It was
All right. Well,
cool.
in that case, this has been our review of Rental Family. Thank you for joining us. We are the Super Cinema Bros.
We are. Thank you,
Like,
Janobi,
subscribe, hit
for.
that notification bell so you can be notified for all of our future live stream movie reviews.
Mhm,
We would
mhm,
like to give a special shout out to Janobi121. Thank you
mhm.
for joining us in the live chat. We really appreciate your contribution to our conversation, and we hope to see you again. So thank you very much. And then on the live chat, we look forward to seeing you and hearing from you the next time. Come join us. We'd love to have you.
Uh-oh.
And
We should have let this man get his cord. Oh man, grab that cord.
Is it starting to
Very much, very much. Yeah, yeah. You're having a rough time. Oh no, oh no. It was an AI video all along.
right?
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. All right. So yeah, my computer is about to burn out. So
Thank you
yeah,
guys.
man.
Yes.
Next week, what is it? What do we got next week? Is it
Yeah.
Avatar?
Next week. Shoot. I think it might be Scarlet. Right? Are we seeing Scarlet this week?
Avatar.
The anime film.
Really want to see Scarlet. So
It's not the Avatar film. So
that
yeah,
should come out this Friday, I think. So
yeah. So we're checking out on. Yeah. So the 12th. What days? Let me. Sorry, I'm trying to look really quick.
I think it comes
put out.
out on the 15th.
All right. Yeah. So the 15th we will be covering Scarlet. And then the week after we'll be talking about Avatar. Yeah. So we still haven't figured out the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, but our schedule of 4, we've just completed that. So yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, I think we're good. My computer's about to die, so I'm all max headstrong right now. So
yeah.
we'll call it at this time. God bless you guys. May the Lord bless
you guys
and keep you, and may His light shine upon you. And we will catch you in the next live stream review.
All right. See Cena's last match this Saturday. Bye, guys.
Yeah, I like your shirt. I think it's really interesting that they have a John Cena shirt, but like they don't have any. You don't even see John Cena on the shirt. Why? How do you have a John Cena shirt and you don't have John Cena on the shirt?
I don't know.
That's weird.
I don't know. It's
but,
okay. I mean, it's like it's got his name on it. Like that's nice, and then it has like the last time is now. But you would have thought for at least the last, I don't know, very last shirt he's ever gonna make.
Yeah,
show him or something, but oh well. Life's not perfect, as we saw with this movie. So
are we still on?
We're still on. All right, see you guys.